Hey guys, it's Kelly. Today we're back to do is McJuggerNuggets graphic novel A Failure cost breakdown. I have tacos and mean dinner.
My most favorite creative project that I've done over my whole career is the Psycho series graphic novel. This thing is massively underrated and slept on. I feel like nobody appreciates books anymore. But I've had a few people request, they want to know if the Psycho series graphic novel was a commercial success or a huge failure. Did it make money or did I lose more money? I already did a video on my favorite series, My Virtual Escape, that I've done on my main channel, and revealed to you guys that that was actually a commercial failure. We know Psycho series was a success, it made money, but I want to talk about the lesser talked about stuff, and that's the book. It was such a creative endeavor. It had to have made money, right? Right? Please. I'm filming at the lake house right now. It must have done well. Distinguished, esteemed author Jesse Tyler Ridgway sits at the place where he penned the novel. I'll tell you this, I actually, to this day, am still receiving royalty checks in the mail once a month for books that are still being sold today. And these are books being sold on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, you name it, we have these books available. It's not available in stores, but who goes to stores anyway? Stay tuned to the end of this video and I'll tell you how much I am receiving in royalties each month, because I feel like everyone should know this. There's so much I want to discuss about this book, so let's just jump into it. And I also want this to serve as a springboard for all you guys, anyone who has ever wanted to start their own book, write their own book, or even illustrate their own book, comic book, actual novel, autobiography, whatever you want to write, I feel like a lot of this applies. So we're going to start from the very beginning of this book's inception to getting it printed, to me collecting fat checks, baby. Yeah, fat checks. Wish. So for those who don't know, on my main channel, McJuggerNuggets, really the series that put me on the map was the Psycho series. This spanned almost 700 videos, got the channel 1 billion views, and ended with this climactic finish in Switzerland, me shooting my dad and fleeing the country with like $30,000 in cash, or so I thought. The series was all scripted, and a lot of people were shocked because we played it off as real. But what people don't know is that series never ended. It actually continued in book format. And so enters the Psycho series graphic novel. 100 pages of pure glory, colorful images, because who likes to read just text?
I mean, honestly, guys, that's the thing about doing anything, books, merchandise, whatever you're doing, movies, series like Jesse's MV, it is a financial thing, you know? Like, you can't expect to necessarily get a lot of money for it, but you do have to put a lot of money into it. So just remember that when you're going into business, like whatever type business, whether it's, like I said, making something like that, you know, it's most likely you're going to put in more than you get back from it. You know, maybe to you it's worth it, maybe to others it's not.
Anymore. You have to keep front, back, you know? Glossy, paperback, and hardback.
It's a hardcover. I had the hardcover for it. I was gonna give it the hardcover.
This was a super powered adventure between me, my dad, other family members, people you know and love from the Psycho series. Oh, this book's good. Once I'm done filming this, I'm gonna sit by the lake. I'm gonna read this thing through because it's been a while. But it's Psycho Kid versus Psycho Dad, guys. Look at it. You got Psycho Dad as like the Hulk, man. It's crazy. So believe it or not, this all started in 2016 during the final months of the Psycho series while I was spending some time at the Wingless Eagle, you know, hunting things, you know, playing with Dema, eating baby food. Believe it or not, I was actually writing some stuff for this graphic novel. I'll just go into my phone, I'll write some notes, I'll be like, Big Brother Jeffrey turns into wolf. Jesse can fly and scream really loud, supersonic blast. Just random things that came to mind, right? Simultaneous to that, we're working on the documentary, the finish of the... I was on a nut. I don't even know what I didn't have a life, really. Once the Psycho series finished, I was talking to my agent manager. I'm like, yo, I want to do a book, but I want it to be different.
Guys, let me know in the comments. Do you prefer if I didn't eat while making videos, or do you not care, or how do you feel?
I want it to be a graphic novel. I want pictures. I want it to be like the Walking Dead comic books. I also loved Captain Underpants as a kid. Shout out to all you guys out that know who that.
If you ever read the Walking Dead graphic novel, let me know. Should I read those? I kind of go back for like I want to, but then I don't. I have the first one. And I read that.
And I was a huge fan of this like Super Mario Adventures book. I'll put it right here. This thing was so colorful. I read it probably like 30, 40 times as a kid. I used to read it to Tom, my cousin Tom. When he was like a wee baby, I'd be like, yo, Yoshi, the whole Yoshi army stormed Bowser's castle. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So eventually, a lot of the things from your childhood end up manifesting later on in your life, good or bad. Luckily, this was a good thing. So let's just say I got to fulfill a childhood dream. That's always nice. Especially if it made money. Did it make money, Jess? Can you just tell me right now? So imagine months of just collecting notes. And this is the creative process for a lot of my series. It wasn't until I got deeper into 2017 that I had a nice collection of notes. And I told my manager, I'm like, yo, dude, like if I'm making this book and doing YouTube and doing other projects, like I don't have time. This thing needs to be made though. Could you help me out? My manager found somebody who was familiar with the Psycho series, had wrote a couple things, and he basically just had him start writing up a loose script based on my notes. Now for this script writing process, this is where we're actually writing the book. So like, you don't just start with pictures. I mean, everyone maybe has a different process, but we needed to nail the story that we're trying to tell and the different characters. Now I'm not gonna get into how to write a good story or even writing scripts, but if you guys would like to hear that process, I could potentially do some videos about that because I think it's super interesting. So me and this guy, Mike Grimm, special thanks, Mike Grimm, he's in there. Mike jammed out on like a skeleton. So we had a 70-page script. We used this program called writerduet.com. And for aspiring filmmakers, this is a really cool program because you can actually collaborate on a script together. The way they mark changes and denote different adjustments to the script in real time is so cool. I could be writing a line in a script and see somebody else writing a line and everything. It formats it really well. Highly recommend using that. So me and him jammed out over the course of maybe 6 months. He'll write some lines, I'll write some lines. We got 70 pages done. I went through and really just changed all the dialogue to make sure it sounded like it's coming from my voice and my brain. But he did really help me out in creating that just overall format for me. It's important if you do get really busy, it's nice to have other people to collaborate with just in the interest of time and energy. So once we had the 70-page script, I really loved the story. We made sure to craft the story with visual in mind. So we wanted a really visually compelling story. A lot of people were unsure, like, why is it so fictional, whereas Psycho series is based in reality? Well, we really wanted to utilize the visual format, so we made it more grandiose, more crazy. If it was based in reality, a lot of the panels wouldn't be as entertaining or as cool to look at. Also, this is like Psycho Kid's fever dream. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't gotten the novel. And by the way, you can find all the graphic novel links in the description, specifically Amazon. I think you can get like Amazon Prime on this, John, and get it to your house in a couple days. So if you guys slept on this thing, buy it now. It's only like 15, 20 bucks depending on which copy you get. So next we needed to find an artist, and I feel like this is the hardest part, and it's also the most expensive. Mind you, at this current time, I put $0 in. That is the beautiful part about this. You can write anything. I think I put in $15 for a Writer Duet subscription. So you could write anything, and there's no cost. The only cost is time and energy. But ideally, you're doing it because you love it, right? We found some place in the UK called KJA Artists, and I believe we just Google searched this and went down a long list. We interviewed a bunch of people, and we also got different designs back. We have found people that illustrated stuff for Marvel, for like Walking Dead, like really big comics, but I just didn't feel like the style matched. So we went through a whole process. I think I have some graphics of what looks like us, like Street Fighter mode, and like there's some really cool stuff that we iterated and tried out. One really weird note. This is the most bizarre thing to me. For anyone who has the graphic novel, if you look through the credits and you're like, who drew this? Who illustrated this? You cannot find an illustrator. They don't exist. You cannot find KJA artists anywhere, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist. And I found that completely bizarre. The way that company operated was you weren't allowed to say who the artist was, and I actually never even got to know the artist's name. It was that serious. I think it's because they didn't want you going around the like management company, and they don't want the artists getting their own notoriety because then they might leave the company. I don't know. I think it's a little unfair.
Yeah, but they deserve credit. I mean, come on. When you drew on credit, that's kind of shitty.
Like the artist that we worked with, I did eventually find out at least his first name. I had to do some digging to find out his like full name and everything. I really wanted to credit him, but I guess it was against the rules. But we found this boss.
That is stupid, but not even to tell Jesse. You know, just been like, hey, dude, don't tell the person's name.
Now, the crazy thing is, from 2016 to most of 2017, no illustrations. This is where things get expensive. So we had only one artist working on the graphic novel. Mind you, it's 100 pages of full-page illustrations. Not only is he just doing the illustrations, but he's also creating all the character bubbles, like where they speak, where they talk, and he's doing all the font, all the text, literally all aspects. He's just transcribing the script and the images. And what's also crazy is we gave loose direction in the script for what we visualized the different frames being. However, a lot of this, he really made it come to life. And I'm just gonna tell you point blank, the process of all the illustrations for the full 100 pages cost around $50,000 to $70,000. Yeah, that $50,000 to $70,000 got us to finish the book, all fully illustrated, cover, back included. Now you gotta figure that was like his full-time salary, and the time that it took to illustrate, once again, this is one guy doing all that work. This took us pretty much a full year and like this was like a year and a half. He would do all the art, he would do some, he would basically do outlines of the characters, the framing, and he would send it to me. I was very hands-on with this book. This was a labor of love. Me and the artist went back and forth probably like 20 times a day for a year and a half of just, no, I don't like that, move Psycho Dad here, or move the hat this way, or this way. Very micromanaging. By no means should that be the cost for everybody's graphic novel. It's just, I would have maybe 6-7 edits per page that I just really had a vision for this thing, and I wanted.
Oh my god, you know what I was thinking about the other night that I might make? Maybe? McJuggerNuggets theme Monopoly and McJuggerNuggets theme Clue. Like, obviously I know it seems weird, like, should be something he would make, but like, just not to like market, but just for myself.
Make it perfect.
Have, you know?
And
I don't know, I think
by golly,
cool.
was it worth it. I really love this thing. So once we started to get into the weeds of the actual expensive illustrations, it became clear we should probably do a Kickstarter. So in December 2017, we already had some mock-ups of art. We committed to the artist. We knew.
Speaking of the Kickstarter, I pledged $6. And I'll explain to you at the end
what we wanted to do, but we really wanted to gauge the demand, you know? If there was a huge demand for this thing, we might have made 150 pages, we might have made a series of novels. So we did the Kickstarter. Mind you, it's a bit longer after the second series ended, so it's not as hot view-wise. But we ended up raising like around $26,000. However, it wasn't just raising, it was pre-orders, and we had some really great perks for those that donated. You would get merch, you'd get bracelets. One of them, you get an hour-long Skype call with me, which I think I had like 36 hours of calls to do, and I did every single one. It was a lot of fun, but like, holy crap. My favorite two perks for the higher tiers, like $500 and $1,000. One was literally, I would hand deliver the graphic novel, which a couple kids did, and that was really cool. We filmed a whole video about that, and that was great marketing as well for the graphic novel. It was just fun to meet everyone. And then the ultimate tier was you actually got to be illustrated into the graphic novel. So you got to be in the book with your own character. Like, that is so cool, and you even got included into the special thanks. Like, shout out to you guys. I think it was 2 kids that were able to utilize that feature. Unreal. But we had 512 backers. Now, mind you, that 27 grand goes towards the 50 to 70 of the artist, but you also have to keep in mind it's coming from the sales. So like a lot of Kickstarters, you know, they just raise money to create the thing, but this was also our pre-orders. So a lot of that money is them buying the book and also getting, like, it costs us money to print the book, to ship the book, and I feel like I didn't price it that well. I never want to like shake you guys for money or whatever, because like you're getting a product, but like I felt bad like charging anything more than $15-20 for this thing. You guys watching me is enough support, and that, like, I'm like, don't do anything else. So yeah, I probably could add higher price tiers, but I really just want to make sure as many people get their hands on this thing as possible. And I was fine with fronting some cash. So we had the 26K, we realized we were like 40-50K short, so me and my manager each put in half. We each put in around $20,000-$25,000. So we're in for around 75K at this point, right? Me and my manager, we're in for like 50K, right? And then you guys came in with 25K. So plus the shipping, all that stuff. So we're negative like $35,000 at this point. So this is where we're hoping that when the book launches, we're able to sell enough copies to make $35,000 in profit, not just revenue. So once all the illustrations are made, we actually worked with this company. Now this is the really important part for those wanting to do a graphic novel or write their own book. We were trying to get this thing published. We're trying to work with a large publishing company so that they could get us into stores and all this. Unfortunately, you know, you see plenty of YouTuber books, you know, this book, this book, this book. Every YouTuber has a book. I really wanted to separate myself with the graphic novel aspect. It's just cooler. I feel like it speaks more to me, but nobody wanted to pick it up. So like, what do we do? We have to like self-publish. And this is where a lot of you guys will find yourself, where it's like, you're not gonna be able to get it published, so you have to do what's known as self-publishing. And this is so cool. So we work with this company called Ingram Spark. You pay, it was like, I think like $50 at the time. You register your book with them. and then they'll put it on Amazon for you. They'll put it on Barnes & Noble for you. They'll put it on Walmart for you. That's right, for like 50 bucks. And there might have been some like licensing fees, whatever, 100 bucks, 200 bucks, just a few $100. Anyone could sell a book on Amazon. Anyone could publish their own book and get it served to the masses, and then you just send people the link and they can order it. Anyone can publish their own book now. It's incredible. So that's exactly what we did. We did print out some test copies because we wanted to see what the book looks like when it's fully done. I have them shipped to my house. Just so everyone understands the cost to print these books, paperback and hardcover, they, you know, imagine add an extra $1 or $2 for the hardcover. We're looking at anywhere from $3 to $6 to print one book. So if you're selling your book for say $15, $20, you could be making around $10 to $15 profit per sale of a book. So you can definitely make some money if you're selling thousands, tens of thousands of copies. You could be making 6 figures potentially. Did we sell that many? So Ingram Spark really handled everything. We did have a few mishaps where like the margins were off, or like I think at one point, I don't know if I still have the footage, but people were getting sent like it was half Psycho series graphic novel and the other half was like a Martha Stewart cookbook or something. like people were like, what is this? That was not on our end. That was Ingram Spark. We fulfill a lot of orders at my mom's business, the NJ Canvas, for merch and things. And so we do handle some shipping. So we actually did some shipping ourselves.
You know what I do want to get though, guys? I want to get one of his lanyards.
We ordered a bunch of novels directly from Ingram Spark, and then we were shipping some out. I was hand delivering some. And then to really make an explosion for the book, we did a whole marketing gimmick. We had Boogie come out, and we did this whole little mini series of Boogie, who was one of our obsessed fans. And then, you know, I got shot, and it was just, the views on it were tremendous. And I thought it was a really creative way to market the graphic novel. And by the end of that month or so, we generated probably around $20,000 to $25,000 worth of sales on the release of the Psycho series graphic novel. From the time I did the Kickstarter, which was December 2017, roughly, to when we launched and actually went public with this across all platforms, that was December 2018. So it was a whole year from the Kickstarter to the release. And then over the course of these last few years, I've been receiving royalties. So just off the main math, from the Kickstarter and the launch, we recouped around $50,000. So we were still negative around 10 to 15 grand. And you got to figure a lot of your sales usually will come from those first couple weeks. So all of a sudden we realized, yeah, this thing's losing money. My manager stops calling me. He's like, I'm like, the book's great, the book's great. And then after a few weeks goes by, I just don't hear from him anymore. But no, huge mad love and shout out to my manager, Evan. He was super instrumental in getting this book off the ground, and I really appreciate that. He took a chance on me and put his own money into this thing. Not many people would do that, but he really believed in it.
Freaking,
So then that's that. Yeah, pretty much I'll get an email every month from Ingram Spark that tells me how many copies of the book we've sold each month, and those checks have varied. For most of 2019 and even maybe 2020, it could be $500 a month to $1,000 a month, $1,500. Never anything crazy. There's been a few months where it's like a $20 to $40 royalty check. It's not much, but it's cool that, you know, we're now 4 years away from this book's launch and I'm still getting money for it. I wouldn't be surprised if after this video, like, some people decide to pick up the graphic novel and it might generate me, you know, a couple $100. But here's the crazy thing. So the fundamental question, was it a success or was it a failure? Commercially, which is, did it make money or not? It broke even. Which in blackjack, that's a push, and that's usually feels like a win. But yeah, I'd say over the last few years, I made up probably another $10,000 worth of profit for myself, and that's covered the loss from the whole creative endeavor. So I'm right around break even. I think over the course of these next maybe 5 years, the book will generate some sales. I might have made a few grand. But to be honest, a break even is a huge win. I wish it sold more. I wish we were a bit quicker with the turnaround and had it closer to Psycho series. I could say the same thing about the documentary. But the win to me is the fact that this book exists. And not every creative endeavor is going to have a payout. And there is such a huge balance with the art and the business side. And it's something I've always struggled with. And I think a lot of you guys, that's why, you know, the art, you see less art on YouTube or just in general, because everybody still needs to make it profitable, or else you really can't have any kind of art at all. But the fact that this book exists, and it's a testament to my family that I have something to commemorate all the times we shared together with some friends, all the people from the series that changed our lives, and the fact that you guys have a physical thing to represent the series that mattered to you all is really special. And the whole process of this was really, really fun and educational. And for anyone that is aspiring to be a writer or publish their own book, this is literally all there is to it. If you want to not have to spend all that money, it all mostly went to the illustrations, the 100-page illustrations. All you would need to do is find somebody more affordable, or somebody you know that can draw. That's it. If you can write the script and you find somebody that can draw illustrations, and you guys go 50-50 and publish a book, and then just split the proceeds, technically there's no money cost. It's just a cost in terms of time and energy. And if you're younger, this is something that I feel like would be really cool to do. And what I would be doing too is I would be documenting the whole process on TikTok and marketing through that way. And I think some of you guys could maybe have great success with that. But we love blowing money on it. But guys,
speaking of that too, like, I'm documenting the process of my room. I picked out color.
This book really is dedicated to my family. I remember Ella too had just passed away, I think, during this writing process, and yeah, I got a little dedication, a little love to the fam. This was so cool to surprise my fam with this. I don't know if I got the reactions that I wanted when I came out with this, but then again, I feel like it's been a blur for everybody involved. So I just hand them a book and they're like, "What the f is this? Where did this come from?" It's like, I've been working in secret for years, but there's nothing more gratifying than like finally getting to show it off. There's nothing like it. One interesting thing is, like, it is challenging to format all of this, like with the margins and everything. So there was a couple iterations where we needed somebody, I forget who it was, but we needed just some help in like making sure everything fit on the page, and that was like maybe $100, $200 cost. But guys, thank you so much for the support over all these years with the graphic novel. It's truly been an adventure. For those that have it, reread it, because I'm about to sit by the lake and reread this, because I feel like it's something, especially with cell phones these days, the instant gratification is just like, yeah, alright, my phone's more entertaining than this. But there's some really beautiful art in this. But guys, let me know any thoughts below in the comments section. Let me know if you think it was a success. Drop some likes if you really love the real transparent talk in this video. We're trying to get back into the finance videos. I'm also, my knees feeling a little better. I'm getting around a little bit better. And yeah, let me know any suggestions of things you want me to cover in the future. Whether that's like my own personal finance situation on a macro level, literally anything about that, because we're trying to crack back into the finance, Johns. And of course, you can find the paperback and the hardcover. Honestly, they're both good. Pick up both. Yeah, pick up both, guys. I'll leave the Amazon link in the description. Show some support. Buy one of these. I know a lot of people, I've seen people want a sequel, but since you now know that it was like pretty much break even, I'm like not as motivated to do a sequel. But it might be one of those things where I'll just take it up the butt with financing, and we'll just make it for the love of the art. But guys, thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys to death, and don't forget to keep it rigid.
Keep it rigid. Okay, guys, so the story with my graphic novel. I did the pledge. Like, there was different tiers. Like, the more money, the more, like, stuff you get. I think, like, there was a part where, like, you could FaceTime Jesse, donate a certain amount. But anyways, so I donate $6, and I got the bracelet, the signed bracelet. And I thought with all pledges, you get the book regardless of how much you pledge. But I guess you didn't. And I DM'd Jesse and he said, $6 pledges only a bracelet. And then I think it was like a month or two later, he was signing graphic novels and giving them out to people. So I asked my mom and she got me this. But guys, I think hardcover is better because, you know, it can stay intact better. You don't have to worry about getting all bent up or ruined. So hardcover is the way to go. Hardcover is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. Jesse did say on Ashley's stream the other night that he's in thinking about doing a Halloween blackjack stream and everyone being costume because he thinks he'll be able to stand. Which I don't think he should. I think he should wait because it's getting better. You don't want to re-damage it again, you know. So don't push it. Jesse should just continue to rest and not try to push it. Even if it's feeling better. Just because it's feeling better doesn't mean it is better. So, you know. Look, I mean, it's up to, obviously it's Jesse's life. I'm just saying. I think he'd be better off just taking it easy until it's fully better because you don't want damage. Especially standing there for hours doing a blackjack stream. That's not going to be good. So, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. get the graphic novel. I recommend it. It's a good book. You know, he said it's 100 pages, but look. Like, there's not much words on a page, so you can probably read in half an hour to an hour time if you read it just all the way through. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on my socials. Follow Con, Insta, subscribe to Josh, subscribe to _Juggy, subscribe to Dan, subscribe to Jacob, subscribe to Cosmic, subscribe to Kaylin, subscribe to Colin. Guys, please subscribe to me. Please like and please comment. Also, check out my taco video that's getting uploaded tomorrow. And check out the other video I uploaded earlier today. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Oh, and sorry I talk so fast.